Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Unfortunately, we start of some really sad news in the week. Steve Jagielka, a man that you knew very well.
Listen, 100%. I spoke to John Coleman, I think it was Wednesday morning, and the news was probably just surfacing about Stephen, and we're just absolutely devastated. He was just a young man full of life and energy, and he was a pleasure to be around when we were at Accrington together, and I know the Accrington lads have took it very, very deeply, I'm sure. As all the clubs that he touched, the Shrewsburys, the Telfords, everywhere, and it'll be a sad place without him, and my deepest sympathies go out to his brother Phil, and all his family, and everyone, because it's such a sad time.
Yeah, as a club we're all sending our condolences to them, and from our point of view, looking for a response this weekend, Paul.
Yeah, listen, again, for our supporters, I think my messages will be clear, quite clear. We're going to get better, we have to get better, we have to improve. We've got an opportunity in the next 11 games to possibly get in the playoffs, to probably still go up automatically if we could win a lot of games. And while them challenges are there, we'll meet them head on. But we don't need to discuss the Fleetwood performances and stuff like that, because as a manager, it doesn't make me good, bad or ugly. I represent our supporters more than I represent anybody. And to say I won't put up with it is an understatement of the century. It is not acceptable for Ipswich Town or probably many teams to turn up away from home and play like that. And while we can't guarantee them that it'll change tomorrow at Portsmouth or it'll change in the next game, it'll certainly change over a period of time.
You've spoken over the last few weeks, Paul, about forming partnerships and relationships on the pitch. What should supporters look out for in terms of evidence, and what are you looking for? How are they built?
Trying to keep them on. Trying to keep it's difficult, because what happens when you lose a game of football? Everybody who hasn't played becomes better players. But the reality is the team that was picked on Tuesday night was what we felt was our strongest team available. So really the players out the team haven't got all of a sudden better in a day or two. The reality is, because results don't go our way and performances don't go our way, it puts the manager under more pressure to change. I've never been a manager to chop and change, because I believe in the players. And like the players have been left in no uncertain terms now, I'm looking at you the same way as the supporters are. We're looking up for players now to show us that they can be here, they can play in the future for Ipswich and an Ipswich Town club that climbs the divisions.
Injury situation, Paul, how's Guion?
Guion looks good, James Norwood's back involved, we've got a really good Kane Vincent's in the squad tomorrow, so we're in great shape in terms of numbers. Obviously Flynn Downs is obviously still out, and John Nolan, which is really disappointing, but we're in good shape. We're in really good shape travelling across to Portsmouth. It'll be a good game, it'll be a very competitive game, that's for sure. Because like every team, you wanna make sure I'm trying to give the supporters our messages that they want to hear. I think sometimes if I don't speak about it too much, I think they'll clearly understand that the messages are there.
What are you expecting from Portsmouth?
Again, Danny's only just gone in, Danny and Nicky, and I'm really pleased to see. Obviously, it's disappointing for Kenny to lose his job, like any manager. Danny and Nicky have had a really good career now. I think it's a really good appointment for Portsmouth. How much can they affect the team by tomorrow? I'm not so sure. I don't know how much they've gone in. But Portsmouth have got good players. It's clearly evident for everyone to see. No different than the bigger clubs in the division, where, as we found out to our cost in a couple of games, everyone wants to beat you. And that's the pressure of playing for big clubs, and I'm sure the Portsmouth lads carry that pressure the same way. It's a big game in relation to the league table tomorrow, because for either team to win, it'd give a big jump on the other one in the games left. So we know it's going to be a tough game. You don't go to Fratton Park ever and win easy, that's for sure. But the reality is we're looking there, we're very much optimistic, and to go and play well, that's what we want to do.
And finally, after this game, a midweek off. Well, not a midweek off in terms of no game, that's what I mean. You want to get out on that training pitch.
Listen, it is what it is. I think I'll never make excuses, for our supporters, because, like every club, managers are as good as your players. Yeah. Supporters at our club historically, we've watched some really good players, haven't we? We've had some really good teams, and a lot of teams who fall down a division or two. That's the case. We should be working very hard every day to get better. So next week should be no different than last week and the week before. The reality is we haven't got a game, so we might probably get a couple of more messages in that we have been, but it doesn't mean that we'll solve all the problems in a week, that's for sure.